And welcome to Indian time. Today is, I guess I should say, Merry Christmas. Today is May the 6th, and as we got up this morning, it was snowing like crazy. We have probably about 3 to 4 inches of snow in the valley here, all over the place here. So should be singing Christmas carols here. This is Etlam's month of the bitterroot. We're supposed to be getting ready for the bitterroot. We were going to go out and dig bitterroot this Friday, but because of the snow, and afraid it'll be probably a little messy still, even if it does warm up between now and Friday. So we're going to reschedule next week sometime, and as soon as I meet with the elders tomorrow, we'll decide on when we're going to have our bitterroot feast. As we all know, the bitterroot feast is one of the most important parts of our culture, our time of this time of the year. That in May of each year, Indian people start digging bitterroot as one of the first plants that is ready of the year, and we have a ceremony, a prayer, giving thanks for to the bitterroot, and at the same time we pray for all the other plants, both medicinal and food for the coming year, that we hope that it's an abundance. It's a way of showing respect and appreciation and gratitude to the Creator for providing us such a hearty plant for food. As we all know, the bitterroot is not only a food plant, but it's also been found out it's a medicinal plant. Eating bitterroot as a steady diet helps thin the blood, and in turn it helps prevent clogging of the arteries. It thins out your blood, so it's both medicinal and food. You can store bitterroot for many, many months. If you dry it properly and store it properly, it can keep for years. And then when you bring it back and boil it up, it's just as good as the day you dug it. So it can be done and stored and used for many years. The Spetlam is this time of the month, as I said, a long time ago, the leader of a group or the tribe or whatever would appoint usually a woman to go out this time of the year and keep track and be watching the bitterroot. And as soon as the bitterroot is easy to peel, the person would let the leader, the chief or whoever was in charge, that it was ready. And then everybody would gather and have this bitterroot feast. The bitterroot has a very short window, before it starts drying up again. And as soon as it starts drying up, it's hard to peel it. So you can't, once you start peeling it, it doesn't do any good to go out and dig bitterroot. So when it's ready, people go out and start digging as soon as it's ready, and get as much as they need for the coming months. And if you miss out on it, if you wait too long and it starts drying up, you could have no bitterroot for the winter. The bitterroot is a very important part, again, food part of the tribal peoples, and not only in the past, but it continues to be today. Although we might not eat as much bitterroot as we should today, it's still a big part of our culture and our value system. This time of the year, there's a lot of other plants that are starting to grow, and mchichoe, balsam root, or whatever is starting. Sunflowers are coming out. That's also a food and medicinal plant too. The roots, but it's like tastes like kind of like a celery or green, and you put a little bit of salt on it. It tastes very good when you catch it when it's fresh and small yet before it flowers. Once it starts flowering, it's starting to dry up also. The Indian people would, a long time ago, like I said, would gather, and then once their prayers were done, nobody was usually allowed to go out and dig until after the Bitterroot feast and the prayers. Then everybody went out and dug their own, for their own personal use. The day we go out to dig our bitterroot for the bitterroot dinner, we only dig for that day's meal. So when we go out there, we invite as many people to go out and dig. A lot of kids come out, a lot of school children come out and help us, and it makes it a lot easier for the elders out there, because with all the diggers, it takes a short period of time to dig a lot of roots, and then everybody sits down and cleans it. And once they're all cleaned, then we come back to the longhouse for the dinner. So when the dinner has been rescheduled, we'll let everybody know. The place name for this show will be Sinhopo Saks, which means divided road, divided, or on the division in the road. And that's what we call Garrison out there by going towards Helena, where the road goes towards Helena and then goes on towards Deer Lodge. As we call that area Sinhopo Saks. And that's just meaning divided highway, divided roads. The animal for this show will be Kwekutene, which means mouse. Such a big name for a small rodent. Kwekutene. And in some of our stories, Kwekutene plays an important role, is a hero in some of our stories because of its small stature and the way it's sneaky, I guess. So we have stories about Kwekutene. The plant for this show will be Lo, which means choke cherries. And that will be another food plant or berry for later on this year. So those are the three, or the words and the animals and the month. Some of the things that have taken place in the month of May, on May 5th in 1909, the United States sold the reservation land to non-Indians for $1.25 to $7 per acre. $1.25 to $7 per acre. And they were sold to non-Indians after the reservation was open. Then on the May, either the 10th or the 13th, I'm not quite sure, in 1882, the death of Chief Big Canoe, who was a Pend d'Oreille chief. On May the 15th, 1929, the death of Chief Sapiel Michel, who was also a Pend d'Oreille. On May the 22nd, 1909, President Taft proclaims that the reservation lands will be opened to non-Indians in 1909. On May the 23rd, 1930, the construction began on Kerr Dam and was suspended on July 1st, 1931 due to the Depression, and then later on it was continued. A lot of our tribal members lost their lives during the construction of Kerr Dam. On May, either the 23rd or the 25th in 1908, the National Bison Range was established on the reservation lands that were seized by the United States. On May 25th, 1948, Congress authorized funds to compensate the tribes for land used for the Flathead Indian irrigation project. Those are some of the history events that took place in May. And the updates coming up here, our elders meeting will be tomorrow, Wednesday, from 9 to 3 at the Longhouse. Like I said, we will discuss at that time when we will reschedule the Bitterroot Feast. On Tuesday, May 14th at 5 o'clock, there will be a photo exhibit on Ernie and Annie Sorrell and her family. There will be a photo exhibit. That's Tuesday, May 14th at 5 o'clock, starting at 5 o'clock at the People's Center. Coming up, starting on Tuesday, May 14th, 15th, and 16th, on those 3 days, is the river honoring. The river honoring is will be down in the same place down there on the east side of the river as you go down around Butte Road down to the old school, and then take a left and it'll take you right on down to the river. There will be 2 sets of stations at each teepee. There will be 2 complete circles or rings, and each teepee will be a station. They have different tribal programs or each station, the culture committees, recreation, forestry, wildlife and rec, fisheries. They'll all have a station down there. And the buses usually start arriving about 9 o'clock in the morning, and the kids will come off and they will go to each one of the stations. Each station is probably about 20 minutes long, and then a horn or a whistle will sound, and then each group will move to the next station. It's very, very interesting for those of you that haven't had the opportunity to be there. I would encourage you to join your children and go down there and go through the stations. This is a river honoring is something that, each of the programs will talk about how to preserve the river, how to protect the river, how the river is used, and those a lot of different things. So if you're not busy on those days, I would encourage you to attend. On Friday, May the 17th, from 12 o'clock to 2:15, the Mission High School is having a mini powwow. So again, support your children, support your school. Mini powwow Friday, May 17th from 12 to 2:15 at the high school gym in St. Ignatius. Memorial Day coming up, May 27th. It's a holiday, and it's a time that we reflect on all our loved ones and all the people that, veterans who have served our country and have passed on. Those are some of the updates and some of the things that are coming up. I would like to talk a little bit, I think, today on a lady. I think we all know this lady. A lot of people know this lady throughout the country and throughout the world, and that is Oshanee, Agnes Oshanee Kenmille. She is a lady that has come through many I don't know if I want to say, I've talked to her before, and she says it's been hard times, but at times, she said it was great, and it has provided her a living today. And she's probably, everyone knows her for her beadwork, for her buckskin hides, her hide tanning, and she has done that since she was 15 years old, she says, and today she's 84. And she still does it. She still continues to tan hides, and there's a long, hard process in doing that. And people from throughout the world have asked her and have bought hides from Agnes Kenmille. And I'm living now here in Pablo, in the Sa. She is a person that she's always cheerful, she's always upbeat, and she has a good sense of humor, and she always likes to laugh and make people laugh. I know very few people haven't met her, but she is one great lady, and she's always on call to help. She's been especially part of the Salish Kootenai College for many years as a teacher, as an elder, as a person that's always there to help and to do anything she can to educate people, to help people. And she has received many awards. She's been recognized for many of her contributions to not only to the tribe but to the society as a whole. She has a building on the college here that bears her name. It's the Agnes Kenmille building, and she, I guess she really is a very unique person rather. And I'll take a short break here, but I want to talk a little bit more about her and who she is, and you know, somebody that you should meet. So with that, I'll take a short break here.
The choices we make today affect our options for tomorrow. I choose not to smoke and pursued my ability to sing. I've been able to travel, make new friends, and see different cultures. Choose carefully. Don't limit your future.
Welcome back to Indian Time. As that was first part of the show, I was talking a little bit about Agnes Kenmille. I'd just like to add a little bit more and to say that Agnes was born in Ardley on March 16th, 1916, and she was the last of 12 children, 6 boys and 6 girls. Her parents were Annie Lumpry and Paul Kaluuya. And she was a very, very active lady in all her years. And Agnes was married 3 times. She had lost all of her husbands. She was first married to her first husband was Ed Stasso. She married him when she was about 14, and that was about the same time she started tanning hides, and she's been tanning hides ever since then. And Edward was her, like I said, was her first husband, and then she married Joe Mathias. Joe Mathias, as I said, we lost a lot of people during the construction of Kerr Dam, and Joe Mathias was one of those people that was killed in a landslide there. Her third husband, Kenmille, also has left her and is gone, and that was her third husband. So you'd think that she's come through some tough times, but she's still upbeat, she's still a happy lady, and she's still a joy to be around, and she is, everyone around here knows her and just love to listen to Agnes. And I could probably talk all day long about Agnes, but I'm sure you know her, and whenever you see her, you make sure you say hello to her. And that's Agnes Kenmille. Now I'd like to show you, for the rest of the program, show you some of the footage that a couple of preservation people. This is a Yellowstone project. A couple of preservation employees, staff members, Wes Ben and Sam Sandoval, put together for us for the Yellowstone. And I'd like the rest of the show, I'd like to show you that. So sit back and enjoy what the guys have done.
Tuk kasqatqaili. Siqatstamtu. Smit khuyast udkhile qattamtu. Qasntihuma. Siqaqantan.
Yellowstone Park is world-renowned for its thermal features. Though it is one of America's oldest national parks, its existence has been known to the surrounding tribes since time immemorial. Historians maintain tribes were afraid of Yellowstone, but tribal elders recount stories of ancestors traveling through Yellowstone for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Yellowstone is intersected by the Bannock Trail, a major travel route used by the tribal people in the Northwest. Bands of tribal people pass through Yellowstone as they travel to hunting grounds, to trade goods to friendly tribes, or to follow the game that thrived in the area.
There's trails all over this country that were created by Native American people, and the animals who are the ones that are responsible for the trails that we have today. Many of today's highways are built over those very trails.
One cannot travel through Yellowstone without noticing the hot springs and boiling mud pools. Though a fascinating curiosity to most, tribal people found uses for the area's thermal features. Of the many sites in Yellowstone, one of the most valuable to tribal people is Obsidian Cliff. Tribal people would collect obsidian to create arrowheads and other tools needed for daily living. Large pieces of Yellowstone obsidian have been found in other states far beyond the park. For the Salish and Pend tribes, Yellowstone Park is more than a travel destination. It is part of our past, a region within our homeland. It's a cultural treasure we sought to protect generations ago. When the Salish and Pend tribes speak of themselves and their ancestors, they say, the people. It is fitting that the north entrance to Yellowstone Park proclaims to the world that it is for the benefit and enjoyment of the people. It's our hope that Yellowstone can be preserved and protected so our future generations can pass on the oral histories and enjoy the wonders of Yellowstone Park.